Hey, what's up, everyone? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, Canada. How's it going, man? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I've got my epic mount now, but I'm back down to basically no gold. Tomorrow is reset day too, so I'm gonna get some huge gear upgrades. Like some huge gear upgrades, so. Druid's coming along really well. I got my epic mount a couple days ago. I haven't really been able to play, but I'd be able to log in for like 20 minutes and do some farming and stuff like that. And one of my guildies also lent me some gold, so I just paid it back to him. And just sent it back to him to pay him back. And I guess I'm gonna go and just do 5 quick runs of Dire Maul, and then I don't know. I don't really want to do fishing on stream. I'll probably do that on Sunday when I'm watching a football game or something. As soon as the other druids can get to 60, dude. Like, that's what we're waiting for now. Now we just need the other druids to get to 60. There's a couple in their 40s, a couple in their 50s. You know what happened recently, though? The NDA on Ashes of Creation has been lifted. So people can actually start talking about what Ashes of Creation has been like for Alpha 1. And as you guys know, I have Alpha 1 access, but it's going into Alpha 2 starting on Friday. So I will be streaming that too. I will be streaming that. I'm probably gonna start I'm probably gonna start a new mage. On Season of Discovery, now that you played it for a bit, or you still hate it? I'm gonna be honest, there's not a lot of content that I'm interested in doing. There's not a lot of content that I'm interested in. I just see the potential for world PvP, especially with this like world PvP event that goes on like every 2 hours. In like Burning Steps, like where it's just you could just slaughter people left, right, and center. These druids would be absolutely sick for that. So I'm just finishing off some grapes that I had left over. They're not going bad, but before they do start to go bad. How is it? Are you talking about Ashes of Creation or? Ashes of Creation is still very much an alpha. But I'll be able to play it on stream. I'll start streaming that next week, maybe. Just for, you know, just for some more content and stuff. Fresh Air went, dude. I think everyone's just waiting for an, you know, an answer. I think if we don't get Fresh, I might just be honestly done with WoW. Like, I don't know what else to say. Like, I might just say, you know what? I'm gonna. I don't know. Would you, are you guys interested in Ashes of Creation content? Because I don't know. I feel like if Blizzard doesn't announce Fresh, then we could just do a hard 180 and just focus on Ashes of Creation. And just go from there. If there's one thing I can say about Intrepid Studios is they really seem to be hyper focused on, you know, what, you know, doing what the customer wants. Fresh hardcore and era. I understand that. I agree. But why the fuck are they announcing Fresh Hardcore when hardcore servers just got launched a year ago? You know, like I'm kind of tired of this shit with Blizzard. You know, I've had between 1 and 4 accounts with them for the good part of 20 years now. You know, I'm just kind of tired of the vanilla enthusiasts just being kind of like, you know, ignored. So I think if we don't get Fresh announced, I think I'm probably just gonna focus on Ashes of Creation and just give her, basically. I even thought about trying the new New World relaunch. Thought about giving that a go. I mean, I actually still have it installed on my computer. Certain exclusive servers. I would be nice if I could stream those, but unfortunately. The problem though is there's no private servers. You can say private around here, by the way. There's no private servers that really, you know, have caught my eye. Like, I don't want to play Classic Plus. I do not like the people that are ahead of Turtle WoW. They've done nothing but fuck over the private server community for the better part of 10 years now. Allegedly. Hey, Kush, what's up? Kush, I just sent you your 200 gold. I've repaid you. So I think Ashes of Creation would be a good, you know, a good thing to pivot to. I mean, right now it's easily going to be the next big MMO for at least a period of time. You know, and being that it's only an alpha, there's a lot of time before it launches, right? Like, so there's a lot of content there to go through. And being allowed to actually stream it is super nice as well. I'm tired of this crap. God, come on. Yeah, how about we do that next Monday? I'll start up Ashes of Creation just to. Maybe by then we'll have a fresh server announcement. What is next Monday? The 28th. So basically 4 weeks away from. Is that all there is? There was one more over here that I usually grab. And there's not even one in there. That wasn't a very good run. Only about 14 gold made in that run. Alright, let me load up my other account. Just gonna do this very quickly 5 times, and I don't know, then maybe I'll go start being a dick, go do some world PvP or something. Yeah, I think we could definitely do Ash of Creation starting next Monday. I haven't played in the alpha in a bit, so... Why does it keep loading me to Deviate Delight? Yeah, that's the 23rd anniversary, so... A little under 4 weeks, I think. Oh, announcement has to be like sooner than then, right? Like, I thought there was supposed to be some like Blizzard Direct thing or something like that that was happening. Is there a date for that? Like, that's when they're gonna start announcing this shit, right? Be interesting to play a game with no bots in it. Allegedly, no bots. We'll have to see after giving a... I don't know that there'll be bots. I'm sure there'll be companies trying to figure out how to bot. Maybe in the beta or something, but... Since the game is not, it's not a monthly subscription, I don't believe, right? So if it's not a monthly I'd have to look that up. If it's not a monthly subscription, there's no incentive for Intrepid Studios to allow bots to stay in the game. Whereas with Blizzard, if they're, you know, if they're paying for a monthly sub, there we go. I was like, why am I hearing 2? Do any of you guys, do any of the rest of you have Alpha 2? I think they're on, they're selling Alpha 2 accounts again. I know Romanowski's got Alpha 2. Fuck. In the right way. Be careful. I had to be careful where I was walking to. It's like, shit. Where are all these mobs? But actually for wave 1 of Alpha 2, I think that starts in the 8th, though? Well, I think Alpha 2 starts on Friday, this Friday, dude. I think. I thought that's what I saw in videos. I'd have to double check. Okay, what the fuck? Oh. I'd have to double check, but I really, it was supposed to be in October. They announced that the Alpha 2 was going to be open up in October. The people that didn't have Alpha 1 access get in later on the 8th. Ah, hold on. Ashes of Creation Alpha 2. Expected to last at least 1 year. That it? I wonder if there's any good Ashes create. There's probably like a narc video or something we can watch or while I'm doing this. Let's see. Here. Let's do that. Let's flip to watching a couple of
Hello gamers, it's nice and I hope everyone counting the days until they can play MMO Ashes of Creation is having a nice day. Today I'm excited to announce that the verbal NDA for Ashes of Creation's Alpha 2 spot testing has been lifted. For those of you unaware, a lot of people have been testing this game for months now, and the game has progressed significantly since the beginning of all that testing, all leading towards that goal of launching the long-awaited Alpha 2 test on October 25th.
The progress has
also,
been unreal,
I'm excited
actually.
to announce I've had my chance to get my hands on Ashes of Creation and play. So in today's video, I want to provide feedback from my personal experiences, give you feedback from experiences from members around the community, and of course, get you hype whilst also subverting expectations. Before we get into that, I'd like to thank all of you for the recent support. I appreciate everyone who subscribed on YouTube, everyone who became YouTube channel members, Twitch subs, and more. Also, I want to thank you for the overwhelmingly positive feedback with our recent interview with Steven Sharif, Creative Director of Intrepid Studios. I'll have a link to that at the end of the video in case you missed it. Also, now's a good time to make sure you're subscribed. So, with nothing else left to do, let's discuss Alpha 2. So, as I mentioned, Steven released the NDA for current Ashes of Creation spot testers. However, keep in mind this was a verbal NDA lift, so you'll have to suffer the generic background footage of the game us content creators have had to edit with for years, just for a couple more days. I'd first like to remind our audience how Alpha 2 is structured. Remember, the Alpha 2 phase has been broken up into 3 different phases with different goals.
Okay, hold on. So yeah, if you've got Alpha 2, you can start for this Friday, October the 25th. And they're going to be just testing, certain things in game. Friday to Sunday tests. I don't know if it's open the rest of the days. Hopefully, because I fucking work like double shifts Fridays and Saturdays. 5+ day available. So it is. What? That is shit. So the server's not even going to be up while I'm available to play? Fuck. Damn it! Are you serious? Come on! Anyways, so starting in December, they start with noted advancement economy testing vassling. That sucks! I'm gonna have to call in sick a couple of times.
Of systems online and overall different amounts of polish expected. I think it's important for us to remember that the goal of phase 1 is essentially to test networking, performance, and stability. While I expect you all to have fun in this test, especially with friends, do keep in mind that this is the main goal, testing the networking. There are some systems available, some basic artisanship is online already, you have your mounts available and everything like that. Also, fun fact, there was until recently an unattended feature which allowed you to basically Grand Theft Horse and steal someone's mount, but this has been corrected apparently. I don't want to spoil too much here as the first time you load into this world is special and I don't want to ruin that for you. I will say the recent Ashes of Creation showcase titled Lionhold Preview did a very good job showing you the first 10 minutes or so in Vera as you load in. However, I will always keep it honest with you all. This stream started with your character in front of the portal having arrived in Vera, right? Something you did not get to see is the character creation. The character creator was
The
originally
character creator, as it stands right now, sucks.
planned to be in the hands of gamers before Alpha
Not
2,
very
but
good.
as we all know, this is no longer
But it's
happening.
alpha.
For some people, the character creator isn't a huge deal. You just choose a default appearance and load in. However, way back in March of 2022, Intrepid showcased one of the best character creators in the genre. Unfortunately, this is not the case currently, as there's still some bugs to work out, but you will definitely see the potential there. I think we saw a scaled up version of this, and the character creator simply just isn't the priority right now. Also, keep in mind that only the Kalar humans, Vec orcs, and Empyrean elves are currently available for me to play as expected. So if you had your heart set on that badass Renkai fighter from the Fighter Showcase, well, just know you got a while to go. Next, I wanted to talk about networking and performance before we get into combat, leveling, questing, and such, as this is the main goal of Phase 1. I heard that performance has come a long way from months ago when spot testing first started. I'm proud to say, as far as connectivity, it's a lot better than I expected. I've put in a lot of hours, but maybe only disconnected about 2 times. Will it be perfect or even as good as this once the masses join on Alpha 2 launch day? I don't expect any live service launching to a large amount of viewers and gamers will go well. I'd expect lag, queue times, and more just as a worst case scenario to prepare yourself. Other than that, Intrepid proudly boasted its server meshing technology with seamless transitions, and I will go ahead and tell you that dynamic gridding is currently not a thing. The team is still, however, working on it. When you first begin to explore Vera, it will be blatantly obvious to you where these meshing borders are. However, despite how Alpha 2 may or may not launch, I expect Intrepid to respond quickly. Something I think us as testers of this MMO should monitor is not necessarily what's there at launch or how well launch goes, but how quickly they correct issues, fix bugs, add content, and stabilize performance. How this team responds to feedback and how quickly it does so during Phase 1 will be very telling of the future. Now let's talk combat. Spoiler alert, I started off as the tank archetype, and it's the archetype I have the highest level with currently. The combat in this game feels phenomenal to me, and I think it has potential to end up among the best in the genre. It feels exactly how I thought it would feel while I was mindlessly binge watching showcases over the years.
I'm missing something? Did they skip Star Citizen and just go straight to Star Citizen 2?
Think your traditional tab target combat, but you have an action cam perfectly mirroring the action cam of a Guild Wars 2 or Throne and Liberty in intent. Now combine that with an action style combat of a New World via true cleaves and hitboxes where your melee basic attacks and weapon combos actually hit all targets it should in front of you. This cleave is also applicable to a lot of the melee skills, just like conal abilities in World of Warcraft such as the Warrior's Revenge ability. It truly feels like a perfect blend of action and tab, a true hybrid combat system. The tab target style felt good, but I mainly played the action camera as it just feels better for melee, whilst a traditional tab / classic camera mode suited the ranger and mage better as you'd imagine. Using a ranged weapon via the action cam sometimes felt okayish, and you can still hardlock or tab through targets in this cam mode as you expect. However, when not hardlocked, my basic attacks would still go to a target nowhere near where my reticle currently was, so I expect some kinks with this until it's perfected. As far as the tank archetype itself, there felt like there was a lot of threat generation added to every active skill, so I could easily hold aggro. There's a hard taunt ability, and you have a plentiful amount of ways to mitigate damage from allies. The kit seems like a true guardian or protector, so surely we get the name change to one of these.
What should I play? Fuck, I can't even. That really is a downer. Hopefully, they have days where the server's just up and you can just log in and play.
Instead of the terrible tank name archetype. Sorry, Steven. I won't go into every active skill here as there's things that are constantly changing, but I like the current direction. I'm not a huge fan of the skill trees in Ashes of Creation, but they may grow on me. The universal skill tree to make your sprinting, dodge rolling, and active blocking better is already in, as well as your weapon skill trees. Another quick random note worth mentioning is that they have a good work in progress settings / keybind system with a lot of good specific settings to cater combat to your liking. Let's quickly talk difficulty. This game is not solo friendly.
If right now as it stands, to get to like level 25 is a grind. Like it is a grind to get levels in this game right now, because there's not basically you're grinding mobs. There's not really a lot of higher level quests for you to do. So you can level, but you're doing a lot of actual grinding.
Yes, we've been told this for years, but I have to hammer this one home. I'm not saying you won't be able to do any grind spots or anything like that solo, but leveling solo feels bad and it's just less fun. The mob difficulty from what you may originally perceive as a trash pool in another game will inevitably punish you eventually. Also, you will find yourself resting a lot every couple of pools to recover health and mana. The recovery is almost non-existent early game. This isn't perceived fun by most players and can be very annoying, but I think that's what the developers want, weirdly enough, as it does not actually feel bad when you're in a group. You're resting a lot less when you're in a group. The crazy concept of needing to be social in a MMO may have been fixed by how annoying the resting mechanic is alone. From what I've seen, solo cleric seems to be the easiest, as you're not needing to rest for health in between pulls as much, being that you can just self-heal. You perhaps will eventually rest up just for mana, however, but it's just a night and day difference compared to other classes while just solo or duo. I think it's obvious, especially in a PvX environment, that when one archetype can self-heal while the others cannot, where it's going to end up on the tier list. Eating rations speeds up health and mana during rest, so I recommend you get some of these ASAP when you load in. So
I was thinking of actually playing a cleric for when the phase 2 launches, actually.
yeah, there's a nice difficulty curve and an incentive to group up. Leveling is an extremely long process as intended. This may feel bad for some, especially with phase 1 being weekend only tests. Luckily, there is a current PTR within the alpha testing that I'm doing, and it's just been pretty consistent for I think over a week, so this hasn't been too much of an issue for me. Now let's talk questing. I have some area feedback for this. Doing questing or commissions is unfortunately not as rewarding as just straight up mob grinding. This never feels good in games to me. This is an early alpha stage, of course, and
You've got to think that's something that they're going to fix, though, too. They're going to address that. People are not going to want to just sit there and grind mobs for 200 hours.
this isn't intended, but I like when quests incentivize me to do them or explore the world, learn its narratives, and just try to hook me to the lore/story. Though, to be fair, this game invites conflict and wants players fighting over grind spots, so perhaps making these grind spots more attractive than questing is a design intent. This is purely a matter of opinion, however. I like doing both mob
Or it's
grinding
just
and
that
questing.
it's
I just feel
alpha.
like they should be closer to each other
And
in terms of a time
they
to
haven't got a
benefit
lot of this
ratio,
shit
if
in the
that makes
game yet.
sense. Remember, the test is capped at level 25, and even getting to level 25 takes about 100 hours. I did quests and commissions that
100 hours. So you can expect questing to be about, what, 3 or 4 times slower. That's a long fucking... That's from just grinding mobs, though. Obviously, fucking... a lot of the stuff isn't in the game yet. Like, quests, I expect are not really fully implemented into the games. So you don't have those used to gain XP. What max level is? I don't think so. I think they said it was going to be like level 50 or something like that. The game, keep in mind, the game is still, like, they said beta, or this phase is going to be at least a year long. So they've got a lot of time to kind of flush out a lot of the details. Like, I don't know if you guys have played like alpha, like versions of games before. I played beta for World of Warcraft, and they changed a lot between beta and launch. So, and they changed a tremendous amount between alpha and launch.
totaled 900 XP, whereas I could have just killed 5 level 3 mobs for about that amount. The highest XP for quests I've seen thus far was 3,500, and when I got to the very last step of that final boss / elite to complete the quest, it turned out to be bugged. Essentially just wasting my time for the amount of steps I put into this quest.
Yeah,
and
Electric,
it felt bad.
that's what I mean. There's, like, there is no way that they are going to, like, the game is not going to launch the way it is right now. It is not, okay, this is beta weekend and we're going to launch in 2 weeks. Like, this is going to be a very long beta period. And there's a lot of things that haven't been implemented into the game yet that will be. And I'm assuming there's going to be a slew of quests, and the XP amount that you get per quest is probably going to be adjusted as well.
Which leads to my next topic. I have to once again stress that this is an alpha test filled with bugs. Anyone not prepared for that is going to rage. In fact, I'm surprised that I have yet to fall through the map. There's some NPC animations not properly telegraphed, some duplicate NPCs you see that are not actually there technically, and I've also had bugs where I cannot basic attack after weapon swapping to my longbow, visual bugs, especially near meshing borders, maybe some skills or statuses aren't actually working as intended, and much, much more. This test should only be judged as a test. I'm not here referring to the monetization, key sales, cosmetic packs, prices, etc., or just saying you can't criticize Ashes of Creation, but when it comes to criticizing the game and the test as itself, I hope it's done so in the right manner. It's hard to currently predict player retention, but I think most gamers will get in and see the potential of this MMORPG, no matter the experience they have their first weekend. I suggest having a group of friends to play with to get the most out of your experience. And just looking at the patch notes and the rate at which this test has apparently already improved shows potential. Now let's talk about griefing and corruption. I was once worried this would be a huge issue with this test, and that
For those of you that don't know what their PvP system is like, basically it's open world PvP. Hold on, I gotta fight here. Anyways, their system is that you can attack anyone, right? Like you can literally attack anyone you want. But if they don't attack you back, you're deemed like a criminal, and you get what's called corruption. Is it called corruption? I think that's what it's called. And basically, if you die, there's severe punishments. Like, it's kind of their anti-PKing system, I guess you could say. And, like, severe punishments, like you will lose loot on your body, XP rate, your stats will dwindle, like all sorts of stuff. And you can work it off, but it takes like an absurd amount of time. Like, basically, don't do it. So
the game will forego the stereotype so many have tried to put on it, calling it a gank box, but this is not the case. However, originally, the penalties were not nearly impactful enough to where players could just literally PK and camp level 1s as soon as they came through the portal. This has since been adjusted in a recent patch. I won't show the exact current penalty for corruption here, as this is a work in progress and likely to change before you even get your hands on the game, but just know corruption is harsh. Gear drops are even happening at corruption level 1 now, whereas before, corruption level 1 just wasn't enough to deter PKs. There's even a huge stat dampen for being corrupted as well, to the point where I don't think you're going to be doing much damage and just having like a chain of PKs, you know? Another issue was that the guards were extremely slow and weak, and this has also been fixed. So these guards will ensure players think twice before PKing. And this hopefully ensures PKs are more rare and they feel more meaningful, you know? Even as a PvP main, I think this was for the best, and I am glad this was addressed. There's also the idea of a PvP suppression zone supposedly happening, but we'll see. I hope the new deterrents are enough, and I haven't seen any corrupted players since, really. The devs do have the ability to turn PvP off if they choose, and
there are lots of opportunities to PvP though, guys. Like if you there's caravans that you can PvP around. There's guild wars. I'm actually like mostly interested probably in the guild wars. I'd like to join a guild that actually gets into guild wars, and that's something that I miss from Ultima Online, where you could like declare war on another guild and then actively like openly go and kill their members. I think in Ashes of Creation you have to both agree to the war. Otherwise, you just have a guild openly declaring on every guild that's out there, and then they'd be able to kill whoever they wanted, right?
This has been utilized in the past, and I
Which
think
would
this
be
will
fine.
be like a last,
For me,
hey,
but
this didn't work out. People are still PKing too much. We'll turn it off for now. However, the fear of this game being a gank box has been pretty much put to rest. I've always said that I'd rather them make the corruption penalties a little bit too harsh and unforgiving than have it not be harsh enough and then have to correct it later. And I think we're at a fine middle ground. Is it perfect? Is this the final form? I don't know, but we'll have to see. Since this NDA has been lifted, I've been asked a lot, should I buy the Alpha 2? My answer is, access to these testing phases is very expensive, especially for a game in its alpha state. I say this as someone with a referral link in the description you can use if you want to buy Alpha 2. If you're thinking that the test is priced high because it's some quadruple A masterpiece, then you're sadly mistaken. If you're expecting a fully polished MMO, there are plenty already out there, and in fact, we technically got 2 more MMOs this month. However, that is not this. This is a real alpha. However, if you're wanting to get in on the ground floor of a true MMO RPG with the potential to shape the genre and have your feedback heard from developers who care and actually listen to it, then this is your chance. I think testers will have fun despite bugs or lack of content or whatever the case may end up being, and even more fun as the game progresses to later phases with more features and network stability. If you are skeptical and or want to wait, I think that's extremely reasonable. Remember, Alpha 2 as of October 25th will be completely NDA free, so you can watch gameplay and streams from myself and anyone else.
What was the date? I think you were right.
A true MMO RPG with the potential to shape the genre and have your feedback heard from
Did you say October 8th?
Care and actually listen to it.
Or sorry,
this is your chance. I think testers
October
will
28th?
have fun despite bugs or lack of content or whatever the case may end up being, and even more fun as the game progresses to later phases with more features and network stability. If you are skeptical and or want to wait, I think that's extremely reasonable. Remember, Alpha 2 as of October 25th will be completely NDA free, so you can watch gameplay and streams from myself and anyone else before seeing if it's a fit for you and making that purchase. Don't fall victim to FOMO. Just evaluate if you think the experience will be worth it for you. And that's all I got to say on that front. I will spend the rest of this week getting in more testing time, and I am truly excited to play Alpha 2 with all of you. If you enjoyed the video, please click like so others can find it. And I will like to say, how the larger public or those less informed may perceive the Alpha 2 and what larger content creators say on the test remains to be seen. I like Steven's response regarding the potential fear of Alpha 2's first impression when we interviewed him recently. If you haven't seen the interview, click the video on screen. We have...
All right, anyways. So that's the 25th. That's this Friday. That if you have alpha access, you can jump in and play. It looks like the first phase of Alpha 2 is going to be basically just general stress testing and stuff like that. So, and unfortunately, just on fucking weekends when I work. Actually, I have Sundays. Sundays I could play, but Friday and Saturdays I work double shifts. So it's like, that's disappointing. I really was looking forward to playing. Well, should we go take it out on some poor unsuspecting souls and kill people? Like, what should we do here? Tomorrow I can just go PvP. I can go do a Arathi Basin and stuff like that, just for, just for something to do. But should we go kill people? Let's go kill people.
Ah, I've been expecting you.
Even with really shit gear, let's go kill people.
Walk with me.
Is it Florida, China 7? Thanks for the follow. I wonder if there's any other Ash. There's a couple of other guys that I saw do videos that maybe Narc's got to have a video, right?
Hey, what up, boys? So after our last interview before the official Alpha 2 launch, Stephen J. Sharif officially released the verbal NDA for the current pre-alpha spot tests for everyone to express their opinions and experiences with the alpha. But before we get into that, sit back, relax, and
C-Mac, you're not even on. How can I harass you?
Kyola, because today I'm going to try and break down all the most relevant info as we spoke to various testers.
Mac, you playing
in
Ashes of Creation?
Discord, and the infinity amount of DMs that I had open today. However, I do want to explain why I am not speaking on my own experiences. That's because I didn't want to spoil my perception of the game before it released on the 25th.
An open world PvP game where Alodar could kill you anywhere and you won't play?
First impressions for you.
That's a shame.
Over at twitch.tv/Narcoverse, so we can have a legitimate first impression of the game when it releases this Friday. Now, with all that bollocks out of the way, let's begin, shall we? Now, before we start with all the leaks, I want to address the one thing that I'm personally focused on for Ashes of Creation, and that's the general movement around the world and how it feels to reposition in and out of combat. This is a major part of what makes World of Warcraft feel good, in my opinion. So it's important that I got intimate, one-on-one knowledge about this aspect, because my guild also understand the importance.
The game, I don't know if you guys have played Guild Wars 2, but the combat system is kind of a mix between it's kind of a mix between tab target and action combat. I don't know how else to describe it. So if you play a range class, you're probably going to want to play tab target. But if you play a melee class, you're probably going to want to play like action, more of an action style combat. But anyways,
importance of this aspect. Ashes of Creation does move similar to World of Warcraft. However, it is not exactly the same. Ashes of Creation is much more akin to Guild Wars 2, with a high level of animation but precise movement as you quickly spam left and right for instantaneous reactions to mechanics. However, whilst in combat,
there's our boy Crix Vibes.
Your ability to move so precisely is slightly hindered by combat animations. My guild members are confident
Crix is really heavy into this game too.
Non-inertia movement is available in combat, but the animation itself does lessen the satisfying experience that is available in a game like WoW. In addition, jumping is freely available all throughout the combat, whether you're swinging your weapon, using an ability like Whirlwind, or jumping out of a mechanic. You can jump to your heart's content, which apparently feels really good and shows a clear amount of understanding and talent within the combat design team. Speaking of combat, we'll talk about the specifics of that next, because it is likely the thing that you guys are most curious about, and a lot of the...
Should I change my title to Ashes of Creation? I guess we'll be doing World of Warcraft once I actually get to Winter Spring and start killing
feedback
people.
Was in
I'm trying to find out where C-Mac is right now.
According to the majority, the combat in its current state feels really quite good with the movement and the moment-to-moment gameplay. Pressing a button and using a skill feels very good in Ashes of Creation and doesn't feel clunky at all, much like it is presented in the live streams over the last 6 months. The mob AI is fairly interesting, with a diverse roster of unique abilities to keep you on your toes, and the difficulty heavily relies upon the recently revealed star ranking system.
Oh, by the way, the mobs that you're grinding, it's more like vanilla WoW than retail WoW, where like you're not going to want to like pull a pack of mobs and just try and AoE them down with like whirlwind axe or something like that. You'll just get absolutely fucked. So the grind against mobs is definitely more like vanilla WoW.
they use. Do not expect to be challenged solo by a 0-star mob, but do expect to group up to efficiently deal with 2 and 3-star mobs. The classes, on the other hand, are where the majority of the concern lie. Apparently, all the classes are fleshed out more or less to the extent that Intrepid showed over the last 3 years, but classes do feel like they're lacking identity and depth within their game.
It's alpha, like, of course.
The tank especially is lacking, but I think this was because the majority of people discussing the classes within my community are tank mains, so their passion for improvement is skewing their opinion slightly. However, the mage and cleric also had a fair amount of criticism related to it in its current design. The ranger, bard, and fighter.
I have no interest in Throne and Liberty, to be honest. I haven't heard a lot of great things about it, and I know a lot of people have played both that and New World and prefer New World. If that's saying a lot. Like, I thought about giving New World the re-release of New World a try though.
Seem to be in a very good state, so the community
70% bots already in.
To bring up the mage.
See, that's. I'm not kidding you. That is like a real like issue for me. Bots in games. In EVE Online, there's like no, like they are harsh on bots. They could permanently ban your account. So you don't see bots running around in EVE Online. And I'm hoping it's similar to that in Ashes of Creation. I honestly think Blizzard could obviously do a lot better job and for all, like, basically pretty much eliminate bots if they actually really wanted to. Like, and I don't even think it would take that much. I just think that they just don't want to put the financial investment forward to getting rid of it, because it would cost some money as in manpower to pay people to actually like log into the game and eliminate these bots. And these bots are also generating revenue, so you're kind of like kicking yourself twice, right?
Each cleric and tank to their.
You're spending a bunch of money to lower your revenue. Basically, is the gist of it. Whereas in Ashes of Creation, there's no incentive for them to keep bots in the game. Same as EVE Online. Like, these bots, if there were bots, they're on free accounts. So there's no incentive.
Their standards.
What do you mean not true?
Ultimately, though, it all comes down to opinions. The weapons and their skill trees also had a fair amount of critique flying around because they unfortunately share quite a few similarities between them within their archetype. The skill trees do technically have different traits between the one-handed sword and one.
If they cancel the bot accounts, they have to make another account to replace it. They don't get refunded. Are you talking about with Blizzard? They don't cancel them, though. That's the problem. They get like a 2-week ban. Like, the bans that Blizzard puts on bots is a slap on the wrist. Whereas in EVE Online, they outright ban the bots. So if the bot's going to get banned, like, before it can actually start generating money in-game, it's just costing the bot or the company money to create these bots that aren't making them any money. But Blizzard allows the bots to get unbanned after like 2 weeks, and then they just continue on doing what they were doing, right?
One-handed mace. However, the differences are merely what type of damage it does. So
and I believe Intrepid Studios is more along the lines of like EVE Online, where if you get caught botting, it's a severe punishment.
Flashing for sword, blunt for mace, etc, etc. Overall though, for the combat at least, it's difficult to really take the feedback for these as gospel right now because everyone has differing preferences related to combat in an MMORPG, and we'll just have to wait for the 25th to try it ourselves, where I can give you guys a more intimate review.
They'll make another count rather than wait 2 weeks? No, they do wait 2 weeks. C-Mac, when we banned all the bots on when we had all the bots banned on Deviant Delight, as soon as they were unbanned, they just continued on. Also, myself, OG Jeffrey, and have people that bought in our streams that have told us it's not a big deal. They just wait 2 weeks and immediately start. Immediately start botting again as soon as their ban's lifted. Okay, let's oh, we're watching the video.
After
Hold on.
I get
We're PvPing now. We're PvPing. Let's look for people. Also, I believe with Ashes of Creation, I have to check. I don't believe they have a monthly subscription with Ashes of Creation. Hold on. So they'd have to actually buy the game again, I believe. All right. So where am I? Oh fuck! I went the wrong way. The problem is Blizzard needs to ban bot accounts before they start making gold, and just outright ban them. Like you've got to make it to the point. The ban happen before the bot actually starts to farm gold. So that it's not worth the $15 investment for the person to actually create the bot account. Right? Whereas with oh really? Did that just kill him, or? You think he logged? See if there's anyone over here. Oh shit, you know what I need? I need that rune. Fuck. It's like the rune that actually makes Boomkins powerful. Shit. The health regen one. That's the one I need. I need to do PvE in order to get that, though. Oh, man. I think I have to do like ZF and some shit like that. Kush, what level are you? You're 40 something now, right? Almost high enough to do ZF. Maybe I should just go over to Burning Steps and just look for people. Actually, you know, fuck. That's where I should have gone anyways. That's where I should have gone. Because the event is about to start there. I won't get there nearly in enough time, though.
What do you need? For the whole.
Five minutes and it starts in 6 minutes? Yeah. I should just set my Hearthstone to Kargath, actually. Probably be a better idea to set it there than to Barrellus. The fuck?